Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of Raw Honey. It's me, your host Luna, and today's new episode is called Don't Patch It, Fix the Root. If you ever say yes when you really wanted to say no, if you just look for temporary fix instead of getting to the root of the problem, this episode is for you and maybe for somebody that you know that does the same. Let's get started. We patch instead of fixing. And this behavior is usually rooted in conflict, fear. It's just the fear of the conflict, the fear of people's opinions. That fear is what keeps us trying to find fast solutions instead of getting to the root of the problem. How do I explain this? And sometimes I feel it makes sense for me, but it not make sense for everybody. Example, your boss asks you to do something and you say yes. Every time he asks you to do that one thing that you know is out of your work description, that just becomes agreeable, and now you can't say no because saying no creates conflict. The problem that you created for yourself is that one task that you know you don't have time to do. The one task that you don't even know how to do. You have to go out of your way to ask people how to do it just because you didn't know how to say no. So that big problem that you created for yourself can have an easy fix, which is saying no. But you said yes so many times, and I was scared to set that boundary, and that creates conflict, and that makes you become agreeable with people and whatever people say. So now you know that behavior, which is why we don't fix the fear. So instead of creating problems for you, you say no from the beginning. Set the boundary from the beginning or say, hey, I'm not sure. Hey, I need a minute. Hey, let me double check. And then give your answer. But don't be so agreeable right away. How to fix the root. The first thing to fixing the root is naming the root, naming the problem. You need to know what is it that you need to get for to the bottom of in your life and just get it done. Stop taking so much time thinking about the things you need to fix, but doing nothing about it. Fix it, get to it. The more you think about it and the more you go around it, the bigger the problem becomes, the more anxiety that gives you. Just spending the time to fixing it is so much quicker and so much faster. And just fix it for definite. Don't put little patches into the problem. Don't do a temporary fix. Fix the root of the problem. Then there's no more problem. But the first thing to do is identifying that. Speak up. If you know what's the problem, if you know the person that's causing the problem, tell them. Sometimes people don't know what is it that you feel. Sometimes people don't even understand themselves, so they're not gonna take the time to understand you. So stop assuming people know things. Stop assuming people read mind and speak up and tell them, hey, I know I've been saying yes to doing this thing this type of way and at this time, but unfortunately, I don't think I can do it anymore. So please find out somebody else to do it. Yeah, it is scary. It's not easy. None of this is easy. So be happy with that. Be happy with understanding it's not gonna be easy, but get it done. Rewire your habits. One small change in your habits makes so much difference in your brain than trying to do 20 changes right away. So don't try to become a completely new person when you're in the process of fixing things or fixing the root of the problem because it's not going to feel nice and you're not going to stay into that energy much time because that's not who you are. But if you start saying no to small things, hey, you don't want sugar in your coffee. Actually, no, I do want sugar. Put sugar on my coffee. That's a small win. Start doing small things in the store. Hey, you don't need a bag. Actually, yes, I do need an extra bag. Little changes in your behaviors and the little things in life that you don't even realize they're gonna cause you stress or they're not causing you stress. It's just a moment, a second that you decide and you say no. It makes it easier when it comes to your boss and he asks you again, or when it comes to that friend that you don't want to hang out, or when it comes to that person that you don't know how to set a boundary with, or just say no to, because you have become so accustomed of doing it in the daily life that when it comes to the big points, it's just another decision, and I get to say no. That's it. Think long term. Seeing how you're what is it that you're choosing and what is it that you agreeing to is affecting your life, because you might say yes to plans a month from now, 2 months from now, but you already know that month you're already gonna have a lot of expenses, so you're not gonna have money, and you are just expecting to be able to do it at that month. But the month comes around, and when the date is getting closer, you already know you're not gonna be able to do it, and you are causing so much anxiety and stress on yourself. Why? Just say, no, I can't. Hey, I'm not able to do it. Hey, I'm not even sure. So it might be a no. It's going to be a no. Things might change later on, and you might say yes because it's something that you really wanted and it's something that you're going to plan for it. And it's something that you have the time to do. But don't go ahead and say yes to something you already know is going to be a no for later on, or say maybe, prepare to it, and then you know it's gonna be a yes. But if people are catching you out of the spot, or people are not really even asking you for your schedule, they're just planning and expect you to be available, then you need to set the boundary. Hey, I actually need to double check with my schedule, and then we can go and talk about it. And maybe I can say yes. But right now is a no. That that makes a difference. Embrace the discomfort. Don't have the idea that saying no is gonna feel comfortable, because sometimes people think, oh, but I shouldn't be doing things that I don't really like. Well, true. Yeah, you should be doing things that you don't like and you feel uncomfortable doing. But sometimes you need to feel uncomfortable, and you're going to feel uncomfortable when you're taking decisions, just because sometimes they're for the good, just because sometimes they're going to be scary. So don't apply every single thing you see and you hear people saying to everything in life. Have the discernment that it applies to some situation, but to some others might not be the case. And this is it for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoy. It's a little bit shorter and it's a little bit more concise, but I want you guys to be able to finish this episode and have the idea of sometimes just fixing the root is easier than putting band aids, because band aids get the job done fast but don't fix the problem. And sometimes problems, that's what they need to be fixed, not a band aid. And just be able to get comfortable with that idea. I mean, I have made myself a lot of band aid mistakes, and being able to patch things just for the moment, and then the issue becomes more bigger and more fixes just for a day and a night, are not really worth it. The much problems are gonna have later on. Trust me. Put on the hard work and take your time to heal. It doesn't need to be fast, and it doesn't need to be now, but it needs to happen. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. See you next time. Bye. Oh, make sure you follow my social media and like this video and share with your friends.